A2IM, the collective voice of independent music.
Hi, my name is Carlos Mills. I'm the president of the Brazilian Independent Music Association, and I'd like to thank A2IM for this kind invitation, and especially to Richard Burgers and Lisa Rasco, and also a special thank you for Merlin for being such a great supporter of the independent community. And in this presentation, I'm going to speak about Brazilian music numbers, market numbers, and I'm also doing a few remarks and projections about the future and about the pandemic influence in those numbers whenever applicable. So I will start by showing one of the most important value chains for music in Brazil, which are the recorded music, the live show scene, and public performance. So the first sector is the recorded music sector, which made, according to ABMI, $337 million. Brazil is among the top 10 markets in the world. Actually, we are number 10. And we see that more than 80% of those revenues are coming from digital. And the second sector is live music, where we've made $443 million in 2019 with more than 40,000 shows. Brazilians are early adopters of a new technology. So we all know that the coronavirus crisis have affected very much the live music scene. But here in Brazil, the live presentations through the platforms have been really amazing. And 7 out of the 10 more popular live shows in the platforms happened in Brazil in the last 3 months. The only 3 that were not broadcasted from Brazil was a presentation by Andrea Bocelli, Italian singer, and 2 from BTS, the very popular South Korean band. All right, and the third important information I bring here is regarding public performance. We have $245 million coming from public performance. Those numbers were published about 3 weeks ago from our PRO. And the money was distributed for more than 380,000 right holders, which is a pretty amazing number, even compared to developed countries like the UK and France. Okay, next slide is a comparison between Brazilian numbers and the world numbers published by the Global Report brought by IFPI. So when we compare 2018 and 2019, so total revenue in 2019 for the world reached $20.2 billion. So for the first time since 2004, we surpassed the threshold of $20 billion. So we're really back to the future here, recouping the losses that the industry had for almost 15 years. So in Brazil, we had $337 million. This is for the recorded music business. So it includes physical sales, it includes digital, all kind of digital, streaming, downloads, video platforms. It includes also synchronization revenue and also neighboring rights. Okay, the next important line is total revenue growth. That's the comparison between 2018 and 2019. For the world, the average growth was 8.2%, which is a pretty good one. In South America is the fastest growing market in the world, and Brazil specifically grew 13.1% if you compare 2018 with 2019. Regarding the digital share in the markets, and by digital I mean all the formats of digital ad-supported, subscriptions of streaming and so on. The Word had 63% of digital share on the total revenue, and in Brazil we reached 81% of digital share. Okay, in the digital share, the most valuable part we know it's paid streaming subscriptions. So it's very important to find out how many paying subscribers there are. The global report revealed that we had 341 million subscribers by the end of 2019. And in Brazil, we had almost 10 million subscribers, 9.8 million. All right, another piece of useful information I'd like to bring here refers to the music listening report that was made by IFPI last year. And it was focused on the behavior of the listeners. Okay, the first important information states that 89% of the listeners of music in the world listen to music through on-demand streaming. But those numbers, they include both licensed and non-licensed platforms. So when you compare those 89% that listens to on-demand streaming with that number on the top that says that 63% of the revenue is coming from the digital part of the official digital part, we see there is a huge potential to grow, still grow this market. Second interesting information here states that the highest growth rate for interactive streaming is happening in the older generations. Guys from 35 to 64 years old are listening more and more to interactive streaming, to the streaming platforms. This is a good new, of course, because the older guys usually they have more money to spend and to make subscriptions. And also, I think that during this pandemic crisis, this trend is probably keeping its pace. All right. Okay. Third interesting information refers, it's a no-brainer actually. It states that the main reason for enjoying streaming is the instant access to millions and millions of songs. That's the main reason why this business model is so successful. All right. Now I'd like to make some projections for Brazil in the following years. As we've seen in the last slide, we have almost 10 million subscribers in Brazil. And those numbers now is from May 2020. We have 226 million active smartphones in Brazil. If you add up other devices like tablets and smart speakers and desktops, we have over 400 million. So let me take my window to the side here and let's see some scenarios for the future. If we imagine that we can reach a 10% penetration of the streaming subscriptions on those 226 million smartphones, we reach around 22 million subscribers. With those 22 million subscribers, we make over $600 million in a year, only coming from streaming subscriptions. You remember that in the last slide, I showed you that the Brazilian market has reached a little over $300 million for all the formats last year. So if you reach a 10% penetration, we will almost double the revenue only with streaming subscriptions. So it's a pretty good potential here. If we reach a 20% penetration, and you do the math here, you find out that the market will grow over $1 billion in 1 year, only from streaming. Okay, so at last but not least, I would like to invite you all to our conference and showcase event that happens in our hometown, Rio de Janeiro. It's called Rio Music Market, and it happens in December. This year, it's going to be from December 7th to the 10th. Hopefully, we will make it in person. We hope that in December, things will be back to kind of normal. But either way, in person or virtually, you'll be very welcome to attend to our conference and showcase event, Rio Music Market. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm at your disposal for any questions you might have. Thanks.